going on, everybody? Welcome to episode 1107 of FloWrestling Radio, live from Austin, Texas. Special 3 p.m. edition here in the capital of Texas. To my right is John Kozak. To my left, Andrew Spey. And to the left, Tyler Meisinger. He's here as well. We're all here. Excited to bring you a one day after FloWrestling Night in America. What an event it was. We had a long night, early morning, flew here, but no worse for the wear. At least Tyler and I did. You two are in the lap of luxury. Although you might have been ranking series watching, which means an early arrival.
I did do some ranking series watching, and yeah, but I'm fresh. Got to sleep in my own bed. You guys are grinding. What time was your flight this morning?
6:15, baby.
Ooh, okay.
Dude, JD's was at 5.
Yeah.
A.M.?
Yes, sir.
Yowza.
We're celebrating Andy Hamilton's birthday till like midnight.
Yeah.
Hamilton.
Ain't no party
Wait,
like a Hamilton party.
Was Ono at that party?
Yeah, all right. I'm glad you brought that up. Okay, so you know how, remember at Worlds, you know how Ono just wanders around all the time?
Yeah.
Okay, well, I was going up to the to bed, and then he's just out there right outside where the Andy's little gathering is. So I was like, I'll bring him in and let everyone say hey.
Okay.
And that was cool. He was in there for maybe like 2 minutes, and then took a picture, and then he, as we're walking out, I'm kind of like walking him out. He goes, maybe Micic next, and then this is
He said, next time, Micic.
okay. That's an important detail.
It is.
So then, as soon as the word Micic left his lips, Tyler, who was not with us, literally starts.
I was with you.
No, I'll tell it. Starts sprinting out the door and goes. And as Ono's out, he's already out in the door, and now they're in the hallway. And Tyler goes, Stefan Micic is my best friend. Yeah. And Ono's like walking away. He goes, okay, good. He walked away. It was the funniest thing ever.
Christian is exaggerating this to the max.
I am.
This is sprint over. I was like not very far away.
He was running.
And I go, Stefan Micic is my best friend. And he goes, okay, good. And then just like kept going.
Yeah,
but
good story.
This was not, come on, man. Don't embarrass me like this.
You ran.
I did not run.
I promise
I took like 2 steps.
All right. What hotel were you guys staying at?
Staybridge.
We gotta get the
pull the footage.
We gotta get the footage.
Lovely accommodations at the Staybridge.
Yeah.
But that's not the topic of the day. We got to get into the floor. I did want to tell that story. I can't believe how quickly it organically surfaced. But we got to start. Oh, here's the picture.
This is at Andy Hamilton's birthday. Christian brought Ono in.
Yep, there he is.
See him right there.
Reason enhance.
Yeah, you sent that in the Slack this morning, and I was like, oh, I guess Ono was at
And then
his birthday party. So.
And then they offered him like cake and pieces. He's like, I don't like American food. He just straight up said it.
Oh, good.
All right. Well, do we want to talk about the match?
That feels appropriate.
Yeah. Where do you want to start? I guess just overall like takeaways from the match, or anything surprise you about the Spencer Lee Ono outcome?
I am surprised. I thought like, all right, there's a couple orders of like outcomes. I thought like how the match would go. I thought either of them had the capacity potentially to blow the other out. Like I was like kind of open to that idea. I was open to the idea of a shootout where like Spencer Lee, he gets on top, gets a gut, but like, you know, Ono gets to one of his leg attacks, or maybe he gets a head pinch type of thing. I don't know. I thought those were like the 3 most likely outcomes, maybe. I don't know the order. I did not think it would be a low-scoring takedownless affair. That did surprise me. I did not expect that. So yeah, I was surprised. You know, I don't think you can be surprised with a winner in this one. I really don't. I went back and forth the entire time who I thought it was, and eventually concluded that I thought Spencer Lee would win the match. Incorrectly so, but I really didn't have a good handle on how it would go.
We didn't get to see any parterre, and I think that was
yeah.
a lot of people thought was going to be a differentiator for Spencer, and would like to have seen what Ono, just now you want to see him like in a practice room and say like, okay, we're going to do top bottom live goes or something, because you just want that that data of how they did against each other in those positions, and we didn't get it. So instead, it was some step outs and some penalties.
We were kind of talking yesterday. We forgot how good his underhook B game is. Like we forgot that he had that.
Yeah, we talked about it a little bit,
but like he just went to it so fast.
yeah, he did. And I don't know if I said it on the broadcast or not, but I was speaking with him again. He's just walking around all the time in the hotel, and I was like, I'll just ask him because his underhook is really good, but he'll just go entire matches. I mean, tournaments actually, and just not use it. I was like, how do you decide when you go in your snaps, your underhook? He's like, no plan, whatever happens. I'm like, oh, okay. And pretty clear that the underhook was the plan. Used it for step outs. You know, they were in that kind of nebulous grounding passivity zone. Like, what is the call? Is it one? Is it not? You try to look in the rule book what the rule is, and it's not super clear. What is clear, or what is like, you know, and Kozak, you can, you know, push back if I'm wrong here, but the typical application, because there are a lot of questions about the step out and about being grounded. And if you're on a knee or two and you get stepped out, you're grounded, right? Well, that's not really how they call it traditionally or typically anymore in international. If you ground yourself in the zone and go out of bounds, they're more often than not going to still give that one. And I think that's what happened in the first two, certainly in the first exchange there from the underhook, where he just kind of drove him straight out of bounds there. So I wasn't surprised with any of the calls at any point.
Yeah, I think the grounding or the step out calls were pretty fair. There's always gray area in any rule set, and UWW International Wrestling hasn't helped themselves by lacking some clear definitions in those cases. But every time a point was awarded, it was clearly Ono being the aggressor and moving Spencer out of bounds.
Yeah, and you can find plenty of examples of times wrestlers get ground themselves in the zone and go out of bounds, and they don't give the step out. And it is an inconsistently officiated rule.
Yes.
I think that can be said without question. There's no doubt that you go into this match, you don't know what is going to be called or how they're necessarily going to handle it. But I wasn't surprised that he ended up getting ones there.
Yeah, I think the one that I was initially surprised was the final step out that was awarded, because Spencer did clearly go down on his knees beforehand, and then Ono just kind of kept at it, and it looked like Spencer came off just before, came off his knees onto his feet just before they go out of bounds, and then that's when you can give the step out because they come out of that parterre.
Go to the end of the match, and they show a really good replay view of that, and here they come, I think. So what happens on that third one, he grounds himself, and then I don't know why, necessarily the why or the how.
I don't think this is it.
It's right, no, before all this. It's like right as soon as the match, yes, from here. You skip ahead a little bit. He hit every celebration. No.
Let's just get Bader on the mic.
Here?
It should be after this.
Spencer kicks out.
Yeah.
Nice defense.
It would have been, tag on it.
Mm.
Good hand fighting. We're watching.
This is the
replays
end,
now,
so
good radio.
It would be back before. I'm telling you, after the match ends, they cut to the exact replay that shows Spencer comes up to his feet and gets driven out.
Okay.
It's in there.
You want to take me off? I'll look for it.
Yeah, okay. So I thought it was, to me, you can challenge there and maybe the call gets changed, but there was no challenge. And overall it's an unsatisfying match, I would say.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
Very unsatisfying. I don't really have a clear sense of, I mean, you got to give credit here. Ono won the match. But
yeah, you wonder too, like when there's so much respect for someone's offense, I think that's kind of what maybe it comes down to, is like, Spencer knows, man, Ono has got this high-powered offense. He can go high to low, get the angles, run around. And then if he gets on top, his gut. So like you focus so much on preventing that. And maybe the same is true with Ono, knowing like how important it is to just keep Spencer off of him, that maybe that's what leads to these like chess, type matches where you're not going to see, a ton of points because the danger if your opponent gets on top of you or starts putting up points.
So we got it here. So yeah, you see right there, Spencer's grounded, but then they both come up to their feet and then they go out.
Yeah, they were out of parterre.
And that's the thing. It's so nuanced. It's so annoying. They could just create instant clarity around this rule. And I think if you get driven out of bounds, it should just be one. If it's not following a takedown, it should just be one, and it should just be clear that way.
And it's unfortunate because I believe the point of the rule was when guys are in parterre, like working on a gut wrench type of thing, and they go out of bounds, you don't want to also give a point there, which makes a lot of sense when you're grounded action and you're wrestling on the mat. But when it's neutral and it's knee goes down, knee comes up, you're towards the edge, they don't clarify that part, and that's really not why grounded was invented. It wasn't supposed to be a way to defend against somebody pushing you out of bounds to not give up the step out.
Did you think that Ono should have been hit for passivity earlier?
I have to go back and watch it again, like with that question in my mind. Watching it live, I didn't feel like, I didn't feel like he should have been hit earlier than he was. I think it is important to note, like the one time Spencer got the angle with his like arm drag, that's when Ono hung on the head. And if he doesn't do that, does Spencer get around? Was that like a smart penalty that he took?
I thought that's exactly what I thought in the moment.
But I don't know. Did you think he should have been hit for passivity sooner?
Given how they normally call it, like he was holding center, I didn't feel like he was. He definitely wasn't trying to score, but I didn't feel like he was disengaging enough.
And he scored the only offensive points, right?
True, yeah.
The match.
You could say, I give credit to Spencer for an offensive score there on the penalty.
That's true.
In a way.
That's true.
And then he gets warned at 2:22. Anyways, I don't want y'all to just watch this thing.
Well, it's not on the screen.
Yeah, I know.
This is just for you.
I agree that Spencer, when he got his ties going, that was when the pressure, it felt like Ono was really feeling it and had to start coming up with different defenses. And unfortunately, they were all, one was stopped by that penalty. And then other times he just kind of wrestled out of the tie and backed away. And Spencer wasn't able to capitalize on it.
Yeah, I think his stance and his positioning is it's really next level. And that's one thing you focus on Ono's, his lightning quick attacks and his ability to score, and then you kind of forget that this guy just holds really, really strong position as well.
How about when he got Spencer's leg on that quick single leg and then Spencer kicked free? I thought the entry there by Ono was superb, and then the strength that Spencer had to get out of there was great.
That was a glimpse of kind of what we thought we might see a little more of, and I think Spencer showed a lot in that exchange too, because we've seen Ono get this leg attack on everyone. Goyev, Olympic champ, Vito, world champ. Well, we haven't seen anyone get out of it quite like this with this sort of ease and pulling the arm out and squaring up. That was really next level stuff from Spencer.
Ono did not score a takedown.
No.
Right? That is, after what we saw him do at Worlds and just in general, like he's been able to take down everyone. No one has had an answer for his offense. Spencer really... He allowed 3 points, and they were all step outs. That's incredible in and of itself, and shows you what kind of an athlete Spencer is. His strength, his power, his defense. It really was amazing. And I think you leave this, and my first thought was it's really the same thing I left the Higuchi match. Is like, okay, we know who Spencer is. He's right up there with the top pound for pound guys. Mm-hmm. If he can generate his offense, I think that's like his next step against the guys like Higuchi and Ono. It's like finding a way to get a takedown.
Yeah.
That's the next level up, right?
There's a group of 57s, and it's basically all of them that he's going to score 8 points minimum on, no matter what. And then there's just a super small list of the stingier guys that is his next level that'll probably lead to a world title, right? Now the question is, for Ono, it creates a lot of intrigue for a rematch, I think.
Oh yeah, I'm salivating for one.
The question is, if you're Ono, do you go down to 57? I mean, you can kind of just have this win, go win 61, and deal with 57 in 2028, and not give Spencer another crack until then.
Did it
You
seem?
have to do it in Japan though in 27.
That's true.
Did anyone get a sense for what the cut was like for Ono beforehand?
Yeah, you get a decent sense. I think it was never like in question or in danger.
See the weigh-in video? He looked right in the lens. He had too easy.
Oh,
Yeah.
Well, that's just his typical charm. We don't know if he's.
He said that in the morning too. Yeah, very easy. Only water today or something like that. But
He'd say that even if it was miserable.
I don't know.
Well,
I think he's kind of a really honest guy.
yeah, he seems like it.
Yeah, he's pretty. I mean, he was the most. I mean, I just remember at Worlds, he just kept running around, smiling, laughing, just telling us how he's gonna destroy everyone. He's like, "I will win. It will be easy." And then this whole week, corresponding with him and being around him, he's like, you'll just ask him something like, "How are you doing?" He's like, he's very strong. Like he'll just like he's very strong.
yeah,
I respect him a lot. Yeah. Like I like. Well, I wouldn't really. I mean, obviously there's a language thing, but also it's like this is on his mind. Like he seemed. I don't know. He seemed more nervous. Would you agree with that, Tyler?
I would agree.
I
Based
sense
off
nerves.
how he was. I think part of it was probably he was with new coaches and like trying to like absorb new information. I think he was learning how to cut weight. I don't think he's ever done it before.
Yeah.
He's a little guy.
Yeah, and so I think it was like just a lot of new stuff. I think he was pretty focused, but it was definitely he felt more lighthearted at Worlds for sure. Like
I never saw him with a coach at Worlds.
yeah, it's true.
He would be hanging with his parents or just walking around getting like pictures with wrestlers.
It was literally the most unique experience watching him at Worlds. It was like unlike I've seen anybody else. It was like watching like a kid like at camp, like just like have fun, go around, make
The
new
first person
friends.
David Taylor saw after he retired was Ono.
Yeah. Oh.
He was like
Yeah.
trying to trade singlets with them.
Yeah.
Did you see? So Eric Olenowski tweeted out after he's like, "Oh, for as good as Ono is, he might not make the team this year because he's talking about Rei Higuchi going up." And then did you see Ray quote tweeted that?
No.
And he said,
Yeah.
"I'm not wrestling this year." What did he say? Like
Something about perfect.
I'm focused on perfect wrestling.
Yeah, I did see that. Okay, yeah.
So like in my mind, you got to think, okay, Ono, why go down to 57 when you just killed the field at 61 and it's a significant cut for you to get down there? Why not just stay at 61?
The only thing I can think of is more data like in preparation for the Olympics. That's the only thing that I like, just trying to get used to the weight for longer. I don't know.
Yeah, see what his strength level is at. See how he wrestles when he's down there. What his stamina is after a cut like that. So you know what to do maybe differently the next
Because
time you go down.
he wrestled in the Olympic trials in Japan at 65. So I feel like the earlier you decide whether he should go 57 or 65, the better for 28.
Yeah. I'm curious. And, at the end of it, it was an exhibition, right? So does it have the same weight as beating Spencer down at Spencer's weight at the World Championships? It doesn't, right? It's I would never make the claim that it does.
Yeah,
So
Frank Chamizo would say, "Make your weight, bro."
make your weight, bro.
Dude,
Be a professional.
It was funny though. Did you guys watch JD's interview with him after he won? He was like, because you guys talked about how he only scored 3 points, which is like very few for him. And he in the interview he said, "I wanted to score 6-0, 8-0." And JD's like, "Why couldn't you?" He said his defense was very good, and he goes, his back, like I think he was talking about. He was basically referring to the fact that Spencer's back was like so strong that he like couldn't get to his snap. I think.
Oh,
It was really interesting hearing him talk about what it was like after.
That is interesting.
Yeah.
On that note, Rei Higuchi said someone asked him on Twitter, what was the thing about Wrestling Lee that stood out the most to you? He said superpower.
That's what everyone says.
Everyone talks about him like he's so
So
strong.
Lee would just F everyone up.
Good game.
Good game. Yeah. So, yeah, it feels that it was. I mean, you got what you you wanted to see, you wanted to find out, but now I want to know more.
Yeah.
Now I want to see it again. I want to.
Let's just whet the appetite.
I want to shrink him down a little bit.
Did you ask Ono what he's going to do?
Well, I asked him in January 21st. He said 90% he's going 57.
Okay.
And for whatever reason, he hasn't checked his phone in the last 10 minutes. So
Okay.
he hasn't hit me back on my most recent inquiry.
Selfishly,
He is online a lot.
Yeah. Well, he was on Instagram, waiting on like the medal stand, like when they were getting ready to call him up for Worlds. He was just like, you could tell like he was on Instagram responding to DMs and everything right before he was about to get his gold medal.
Yeah.
So, but selfishly, I'd like a couple things. I would like Spencer Lee to win Worlds.
Yes.
Right. So part of me is like, maybe Ono you stay up at 61. But how awesome would it be?
So much sweeter.
How awesome would it be? Ono drops, they meet in the World Finals.
Yeah.
That would be pretty awesome too. So
I would love it. I mean, there's some big matches that can go down at Worlds this year, but that would be up there again.
Yeah.
yeah.
Cool.
Any other big Leono takeaways or?
I like the singlet Ono had on. It was like a silk kimono, but in singlet form.
Was it kimono?
Well, obviously it wasn't a kimono. It was a singlet. But it
I don't even
just
know what that means.
what a kimono is.
Kimono is like a robe.
That's like a robe.
Yeah.
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 But it had like the pattern of like a nice silk kimono.
I was thinking you said komodo.
Komodo dragon.
Yeah.
dragon?
But it wasn't like koi. It was like a fish.
I bet you could find a kimono with that pattern on it.
Okay.
Okay.
There we
There you
go.
go. The final thoughts.
Yeah, that was good. Really put a bow on it, Spay.
Well, it's a unique singlet. It's not even
awesome.
UWW legal, but it's cool.
Yeah.
Street legal. All right.
All right. Other Flow Wrestling Night in America card. I think David Carr, Takatani. I think, my opinion, match of the night. What were your big takeaways from that match?
Yeah, I don't think anyone would dispute that. I think it was the runaway match of the night, performance of the night, probably too for Carr getting a win of that magnitude at a weight, where it's a little uncertain. Who's going where? What is Kyle Dake's future? With wrestling, competing, weight class, etc. And so you're looking around. Well, who's going to be in contention? Jason Nolf's retired. Is it going to be David Carr? And if so, is David Carr ready? Well, this match was, proof positive that he's ready to have an impact on the world stage. And I thought he looked, he had a tough match against Saul Kazanov, who I feel of the international sort of template is like the worst case matchup for someone like Carr, just someone so positional, so strong, really stingy type of guy. That's going to give a guy like Carr problems at this stage in his career. But against someone like Takatani that's going to engage and, he has an athletic advantage, I feel like can really move as well. I liked it a lot. So I thought great performance. And it wasn't just, the transition single leg to the lace. That's going to get a lot of play, but it was a very complete match from David.
Yeah. I had always thought like, if David Carr is going to win this match, it's going to be off of that like transition single to lace. I don't know if I ever said it out loud, which I wish I would have. But I mean that really is his bread and butter.
Yeah.
That's how he won Junior Worlds 2019 maybe. But that single leg to lace. But then he also scored the second period, right? It was go behind and then he got the gut as well. So I mean, yeah, really really complete performance. And I mean, the question now is like, who can challenge David Carr, and does Dake really is he still wrestling? Is he going to go up? Like, I feel like that's the biggest storyline. Yeah, does he take a year off? Yeah.
Yeah, all options. Yeah, I don't know what. I mean, for all I know, Kyle's knows exactly what he's going to do, but it doesn't sound like that is known widely or publicly what he's going to do. I would say of the least likelihood would be him wrestling at 74 again. That's my thought.
Wow.
He certainly could. I mean, he's already in Final X, and that is a temptation difficult to pass on. But, yeah, so I don't know. But beyond that, Mitchell Messenbrink, for sure, if he's in the mix, would be a threat. Will Keegan go down again? I don't know. He's already talking about taking breaks and stuff, so sounds like not a freestyle focus, at least for this year. So I don't know who else could be in the mix. You're talking. I mean, it gets down there. It's like Meyer Shapiro, D. Lockett. These are the next group of names. So Duke Mafia, I think, is 70.
Really?
I mean, he was.
Yeah. Isn't he wrestling like 170 or something in high school?
High school weights don't ever count.
Yeah.
Marcus Blaze is wrestling at 150.
That's true.
He might make the world team at 61 kilograms. Like, they're all fake in high school.
Yeah.
Mike Evans wrestled up at 215 for Blair at points, and he was a 165 as a freshman.
Yeah.
High school. These guys can stunt at whatever weight
And
they
then
want.
Lance Runyon, he does it the other way.
He's a reverse.
Yeah.
He's got his own little flair.
Yeah. If Dake isn't our guy at 74, it really makes me nervous about bringing home a medal from Worlds.
Of course.
Because it's like, okay, obviously we just saw David Carr beat the Olympic silver, but it's like 74 is, if not the toughest weight at Worlds, it's for sure one of the deepest. And there's just so many really tough matchups for someone like, David Carr, who's still young, still hasn't established himself as like a consistent medal contender, that it makes me nervous. And it also makes me like, maybe we start, going up to Jason Nolf's house and just kind of like, hey,
what's up?
What, you retired still? Or
Speaking
you want to come back?
Speaking of the ocean, why don't you fly across one and medal at Worlds? Yeah, it is kind of the timing for his retirement, given and this is all, of course, we're speculating with Kyle. He's given us no choice but to speculate at this point. So that's what we're doing. But yeah, if Jordan's gone and Jason's retired, but if Jason were still there, he would definitely be the favorite to make the team right now.
Yeah.
There's also the chance that Carr Strachey goes 74 kilograms this time.
That's true. That's true. Back to the Carr match. Was that the most electric that the crowd was?
They loved him.
That match?
Yeah, they love. Yeah. Well, the two Iowa guys lost, which, they got a big pop when they came out, like really, really loud. But yeah, they love Takatani. They love Carr. He's, wrestled at Iowa State. They were really, I was curious, like, how is the crowd going to go with the non-Iowa guy? They were behind Team USA all the way. It was a really great, active crowd, and they were very into this match. And they rewarded the wrestlers for all their activity as we watched Takatani.
Yeah, what a showman. He's loving that.
He loves it. And, these guys, they don't get this in Japan. There's not this kind of fanfare atmosphere. So that's why they want, that's part of the reason they really wanted to come here. Takatani was like, I forget, I don't want to get into all the steps, but he was facing some outside pushback to get into this event. And he basically was like, would not be denied. Like, I am doing this. If you don't let me do this, so he really wanted to do it, and thank goodness he did. Look at him.
Man.
He said, give the children a dream.
Amen.
What a showcase!
So awesome, dude.
He's so good.
And what a nice showcase for the state of Iowa and the fans for showing up to a basically exhibition. But there's some high stakes, but it's not leading to anything more. You don't get a extra bonus at U.S. Open or the team trials. And they showed up, and they were great, and they showed appropriate love for all the wrestlers at the right times. It was great.
Did you guys think that David Carr had a chance in this match going into it?
So, you kind of can trick yourself a little bit and think, all right, well, this guy scored 20 points on Kyle Dake. He's an Olympic silver medalist, but like the way Americans approach every match in their life versus the way international, it's just a little different. And, the level of preparation involved with the Olympic Games to something like this, like, we can be honest and say it's likely very different. So in that way, I was like, there's that chance. I thought Takatani would be able to get to legs more frequently than he was able to, and then he did. Mm-hmm. He never attacked Carr's lead leg, which
we all thought he would.
That's his primary, that's where he'll do a little right to left misdirection. He'll sweep that way. He attacks that way. He attacks both sides really well. We saw that post against Carr. But I thought we would see that a little bit, but he couldn't he's a master of deception, and he really didn't even get much of that going.
That was a beautiful re-attack.
Oh, that little kind of like
there.
fake snap.
Yeah, I thought that might have been my favorite move of the night.
It was really nice.
Yeah.
And then, him getting a gut here. I mean, the laces,
Almost got the tech.
yeah.
It was right there, and then he picked the legs
I like
over.
that he went for it, though.
Yeah.
You know, with the lead,
Yeah.
you got the opportunity. Go for the gut.
With Takatani, obviously, we have hindsight now. We just saw him lose, but I'm pretty certain I said this either on the show or in the office. Like, he's not a young man, right? Like he's been in the game for a long time and following international wrestling closely. Like, he was a guy at 65 for a long time who was always like just another guy, tough. Same at 70, and then his world bronze at 74 in 2023 was kind of like, whoa, like this is
back.
This is out of nowhere. Like this guy, like okay, like that's cool. And then the same thing last year. I was like, whoa, this guy really beat Kyle Dake. And so, maybe that was his peak. And maybe we'll see a little bit return to earth where he'll be like a 10-ish, 15-ish type guy. But I don't know if we'll see him in top 3, top 5 in the world again. And, obviously he could prove me wrong, but I think he's like 31, 30, 32.
That's at 30.
So
He's 30.
yeah. Okay. So, I mean, to be that old and to be at a weight like 74, like, I don't know if he's going to be able to stay at the top for much longer.
Yeah, just quit already. You're
Yeah.
30.
I know, right?
Idiot.
The Takatana-sence is over.
Yeah. But I think he's the guy who, like, obviously celebrates harder than anyone else after he loses.
Yes.
With the two examples now, the Olympics where he was in the crowd getting all the selfies, and then this, he was just staying on the mat longer than everyone, waving to everybody. But he put on a good performance. He didn't give up the tech, and then put on a show for those last 2 minutes with David Carr.
Yeah. Between him and Ono as like the two feature guys, it really did fall into place well. Like with this card, and it's like hopefully that's something we can capture more from the international wrestling.
Yeah.
Well, the
Obviously,
Iowa
we
fans were
want to.
great too to them. Like the fans, the way they treated Takatani after he lost was like incredible.
Yes. Yeah. It was a great, huge crowd. I've been to Coralville before. FloWrestling filled the house. I've been there before, and it's just wrestlers and coaches. And it was not that way. A lot of fans. You had the Bo Bassett effect. That was insane.
The Bo Zone.
Yeah. If Spencer Lee's the mayor of Wrestletown, I don't know what the second to the mayor would be, but Bo
City
Bassett,
councilman?
City councilman, Bo Bassett. I could see that.
Chief City Councilman.
Yeah, the
Alderman.
the comptroller,
Sheriff.
Bo Bassett, sheriff of Wrestletown. I could see that. But anyways, yeah, people were excited to see Bo. But yeah, the fans were awesome.
Yeah.
Get this award-winning time lapse.
This is crazy.
That was actually not made by Spey, who's our resident award-winning
Wow.
time
I
lapse.
can't hog all the time lapses.
This is
This is the line for a meet and greet with Bo Bassett.
Yeah. How great is it to see all those kids? Like, these are the future fans, probably a lot of them are wrestlers themselves. But either way, this is the start of hopefully a long fandom. With
This was after the line had been going on for some time. This is not like the start of the meet and greet. It had been going on for like a half hour, 45 minutes at this point.
He still has a year and a half until he gets to campus.
You're more. He'll probably.
Gosh.
I'm sure he'll be one of. Pretty much when they graduate high school.
Yeah.
They head straight there. I'm sure he's going to do that next spring.
It's
But
wild.
yeah, very wild. Pretty cool though.
It's crazy how many signatures he's already done, and he's still a teenager. Like, you think about how many signatures you write in your lifetime, he's probably matched most adults.
Yeah, it's true. Especially no one's writing checks anymore, Spey.
Yeah. Nobody's writing checks, so you can't cash them.
Yeah, you can't even cash them.
Okay. What else from the night? Zahid Hidley.
Yeah, Zahid looks like he's ready to win a world title to me. He's got to get on the team. We don't know who's going to be there, but it feels like he's the bar right now at 86 with, the weights cleared out somewhat with David retiring. Brooks has moved up weights. So feels like it's going to be him, and he's wrestling as well as ever. I mean, he had a lot at the end there too. I mean, that final, Trent kind of went insano mode at the end, just like, all right, let me just fight right now. And Zahid fought really hard, right back, and got the takedown. I thought that was like a real statement. It should be a confidence booster for Zahid, who is always good early, but can have a hard time later in matches, just being candid. And this is that moment where he gets that takedown. You can go back and see where Trent kind of escalates things, and then, well, wasn't that far back.
Not that far.
Well, and now, so Zahid already teched Marsteller, a month ago?
Yep.
And now he beats Hidley. It's like, who else can challenge him?
I mean,
at 86? Strachey.
Kekheisen, if he attempts. You know, I was bummed Parker didn't go to Olympic trials, but that was right after NCAAs. Some did, some didn't. So I would say those two definitely come to mind. And if Kaldek's moving up, would he go up to 79? Would he go up to 86? 92?
Possibly you.
Definitely not that, but yeah, maybe he does look at that, like, get on. He's had success at 86.
That match was basically doing stuff that would get you arrested on the street, the hand fight and the ferociousness that they both wrestle with, and it was I don't know, it's fun to see. I mean, like, nobody gets at it after it in the hand fight like Trent, and Zahid matched him and got those points off just turning on that mean switch.
So he started with that little choke. He's nasty.
Oh, he likes that front headlock.
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
Gets right in the neck.
Oh,
right in the...
Trent's face was so red. It was nice. He's good at that. So, yeah, great performance by him. I mean, Austin Gomez. I mean, you know what? Freaking Mexico. Got going it.
Yeah.
0-3 against Mexico?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, I was
Not
impressed.
a fan.
Can't say I knew too much about the Mexican women that wrestled Hernandez and Jimenez.
Jimenez wrestled Mota Pettis, right? She's credentialed. She's a 2-time U20 bronze medalist. So that's legit.
Hernandez is good too. I remember she was at Worlds this year in Albania. I think she was U23 and seniors, and she really stood out to my mind there. She's just like really tough, only gets better as the match goes on. So yeah, she's a girl to watch out for sure.
That's you always want to see USA at the top of the podium, but it's good when there's competition from in Pan Ams, because a lot of times those tournaments aren't super competitive, and if you add some depth there,
I'd say it's not good because it's cost us spots. But you're right. You're right. For the overall health, it's good to have competitive continentals.
with Cuba basically falling off and Canada not stepping up, it makes for better tournaments, and iron sharpens iron for when they get to wrestle.
Is Takatani really only 5'6"? I feel like he's taller than that.
Those are all from what they reported, or filled out during the thing. So that's coming from Takatani himself.
Yeah, sorry to change the subject.
Okay.
It's okay.
How dare you?
You mentioned Austin Gomez.
Yeah.
You want to talk any more about him, or
He looked outstanding.
Unreal.
He looked unreal.
Yeah,
I
like
mean,
a
he looked like a
Gomez
guy
level.
that can make a run at the World Championships. Is he ready to medal? I don't know. That's going to be a deep weight. They all are. But, yeah, he's going to be there. You already know he's going to be at the World Championships. One of the, joys of wrestling for that team is you're on the team. And so I thought he looks, I never was one that thought, oh, he's too big for 65. But apparently that was more of a cut than, we realized. And up at 70, he feels a lot better, has a lot more pop, really moved well. His tank was full. I mean, his power was insane there. That fake to the head pinch was so nasty. He's very complete. You can't be anything but impressed with that performance.
Yeah. Now UWW changed their the transfer policy. Have you heard anything more about that? Are guys like Gomez, are they just grandfathered in? Did anything change for them?
I was talking with Stevan about it recently.
Okay.
He said that even he is not grandfathered in. Basically they have to this year have one non-transfer per every transfer compete.
Really?
Yeah.
Man, so Mexico, what are they going to do? They're just going to pull guys off the street, make sure
I think there's
countries are gonna
enough
have
people
to do.
that do. They're just not going to be any good.
I'm trying to
They
think.
have
How many
They have entries usually at Pan Am's, don't they? So it'll just be those guys. They just will have no shot at winning. They'll got to be
They're gonna have to send them to Worlds.
some non-Olympic guys.
Okay.
So basically, guys like Gomez and RBY are going to have to do some recruiting and maybe like help out on travel, or I don't know how much the Mexican Wrestling Federation is paying for much. I don't think too much. So
Anyway, yeah. So Gomez looked good. He's a factor for sure. All in all, great event. Really pumped with the turnout. Pumped with the wrestling on the mat, and how many of you guys were watching, and really felt like you guys were fired up for this event, just with all the content the team put out. So, yeah, we obviously want to do it again, and hopefully we will. We're already talking about the next headlining potential match.
it was really cool to see so much on social media, and you just felt like the conversation was about this. And this is in the heat. This is at the peak wrestling season. Iowa State High School Championships just finished, and we're about to hit conference weekend at NCAA's. And so to be able to dominate, the conversation going around in the wrestling community, that's impressive.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's great.
We're the only ones that can do that, too.
It's a good platform. It's a win-win for everybody. And I know it's behind a paywall, and there's going to be people griping, but that's sports. That's not unique to Flow. It's not unique to wrestling.
And that's why we have you in the Instagram comments, just keeping everybody in
I had to
check,
handle some business. Actually, that was all just
He
because
stands on business.
Yeah.
that was a graphic that I helped make, and I wanted the engagement on that social post to be real high. So I cheated a little bit and went on my own account and had to answer some people that were maybe a little bit misinformed.
Were you also on a burner account being
like
the
complaining, and then
misinformed one?
and then I answered my own burner. Nah. But I did tell the guy that if he was going to illegally stream it, he'd have to do it from prison, and I stand by that.
Okay. There we go.
I will send him to jail.
All right, where to next? We want to talk about Anthony Knox situation a little bit.
Yeah, I think we should.
Yeah.
Definitely a crappy situation. Super unfortunate. We love Anthony and the Knox family. I think they're awesome people. They're so cool to work with. Tyler's worked with them probably more than anyone.
Part of the family.
At the night.
He's an honorary Knox. But yeah, I mean, dude, I'm, is it right? Is it not? I don't know. I want him to wrestle. Is that the right thing to say? I don't know. And do I know every detail? No. But bottom line, I do want Anthony to be able to wrestle. It sounds like an ugly situation. It sounds like this. And honestly, is it Spade's fault? Is he not keeping Jersey in check here?
He's been away for too long.
I'll say it. Feels like it's always Jersey.
I didn't like those type of comments. People are like, what do you expect out of Jersey? Oh, typical Jersey. I'm like, hey, whoa, hold on.
Typical New Jersey. That's a famous Volgar quote.
That is, yeah. Well, you can find fights in the stands in New York. You can find it in Pennsylvania, all over the place. And this, it's ugly.
Yeah, it's the Northeast. That's the problem.
Yeah.
You can find it in California.
I'm sure
deal
there's
with
no
you.
fights in California.
Yeah, deal with you
no,
West
I mean,
Coasters later.
I make light, but
You want to explain the situation for people that may not
at
know
a basic
what's
level,
going on?
there's what is reported, is there's shouting, there's heckling, there's, maybe even racial stuff being shouted. Anthony's father, Anthony, goes in and confronts. There's an altercation of some kind. Anthony Jr. ends up going into the fray in some way. Is he involved? How involved is he? I don't know. Is there fighting, or is there him just going up there? Is they shoving? I don't know. But he's in there in the mix, right? And so that's basically what the New Jersey State Association is saying. Like, he went from here to here. You can't do that, and so you're out. And so, huge bummer.
I think the appeal is going on right now.
Yeah. And is it an injunction, or what are they?
Well, I think they ruled that he's out already.
Yes.
That happened. And so this is like the
Oh, yeah, I should
appeal to
mention
say, hey, Regions, or I think it's Regions coming up, is like this weekend. I think they start either today or like tomorrow. He would be in the start of Regions. Anyway, so this is to see if they can stop that order and let him wrestle and then figure out the punishment later or something like that.
Yeah.
it's so hard. You can't make any judgments or question without knowing all of the details. Very few people are going to know everything that happened in there. And when there's family involved, when there's close personal friends on the team and stuff happens, how do you not like? It's easy to say, oh, okay, there's a line, there's the rule, you go in the stands, anything like that, and this is the punishment. I get that, and if that happens to be the case of how it's ruled, then I get it. But before anybody passes any judgment, I mean, if it's your family that's involved, how do you not run it? How do you not also go in and help and say, well, my family's more important than this rule or a tournament or whatever?
Yeah,
so,
for sure.
I don't know. Overall, not much to say besides it stinks.
Yeah,
on many levels.
Definitely does. And the background tension here is the private schools in New Jersey are dominating the public schools. And so there's tension there that, there's, this consolidation of power, and the public schools feel a certain type of way. And, Anthony, he carries it in a way. I mean, I think he carries it just right, but he's a personality. He's a showman. He's an antagonist, by design, And so with that comes even more. It makes you a little more of a target, and then so if you make yourself more of a target, you got to be ready for Jersey shenanigans.
Yeah. I mean, it's easy to say, like I was saying, okay, here's the rule, like never go in the stands. You got to figure out a different way to resolve that if, bad things are going on with your team or in people in the stands. But what happened, and the New Jersey tournament will be lesser if a guy going for his 4th championship and heavily favored to do it is not going to be able to be the 5th 4-timer in Jersey history.
Absolutely. Okay.
Yeah.
Anything else to add?
Fun topics.
I just really hope that he gets to compete, because I had plans to go cover his state tournament. The flight was booked.
That tournament that video is either going to be the most lit video of all time, or
it won't exist.
Or it won't exist.
Well, now you get to spend some quality time on the Jersey Shore and then on Atlantic City's boardwalk.
If he's not wrestling, I'm sure I'll be at a conference tournament or something.
I don't know. I think you should still go to the Jersey State.
Have you ever been?
No, I have not.
Yeah, what do you know about the shore anyway?
Nothing.
Anything about the ocean?
You've been to
where it
Atlantic
meets the
City?
land.
I've been to Atlantic City with you.
Oh, yeah.
That was one of Space Death's.
That was one of my episodes. With my former gallbladder,
when you
which is
had
now
your
in
whole
the
body.
trash where it belongs.
Where they all belong, I say.
Hey,
What's Trump doing about the gallbladders?
that's a tip for anybody. If you still have your gallbladder, get rid of it. It's not going to do you any good.
Yeah.
Not having it has not changed my life.
Do you have one?
Yeah, I got
Get it out of there.
Yeah.
It needs to go.
That's it.
It doesn't help.
I got rid of my appendix.
Appendix is also out of there.
I got my appendix still. My tonsils. I got my wisdom teeth.
What?
I got it
What?
all, baby.
This man has too many organs. You got to do something about that.
That's not good.
Ridiculous. Bragging about all of your
gonna catch
organs
up
still
with
in
you.
your body.
My mom has 3 kidneys.
What?
Yeah.
She's a bonus
I'll
kidney?
leave you with that.
How do you not donate your bonus kidney?
Kozaks, we just collect.
Collect organs.
Are you kidding?
We're over here just getting rid of all his excess organs, and over here you're harvesting them.
She had a kidney transplant, and they just leave the other 2 in.
Oh.
I
thought you were
they could just they're just
They can do
unlimited
that.
tubes.
Yeah.
You know?
Just getting all the good
going.
kidneys going to the Kozaks.
Yeah.
Wow.
So
Maybe I'll just get rid
Triples of the kidneys. Triples is safe.
is
It is safe. Then if something happens to one, it's like, I don't care.
I don't care.
I don't care.
Maybe I'll just get rid of a kidney out of spite. Just be like,
I wouldn't do that.
Whoa.
I don't need 2. Get this gone.
Don't antagonize your kidney.
It's gone.
I don't care much for kidneys either.
Okay. Natural transition into Big Ten seeds.
Yeah, can you pull those up and put them right there?
I put it in the doc, the link. So Big Ten seeds are not out, but I went through and tried to predict all the seeds, and I think maybe start at 149 because I think that's the one where there's maybe the most parity at the top with the
Parity law.
yeah little Ranker's Delight. So I chose to put Ridge Lovett number 1.
You did.
Even though
Van Ness got the head-to-head.
Van Ness has the head. Oh no,
Someone will always have the head.
Marco has the head-to-head over.
Oh, that's the losses column. See, that's why it says losses at the top of it. Okay.
So
Very well labeled.
how I explained this was that Ridge Lovett, Big Ten champ, right?
Yeah.
So that's one of the things.
I was kind of hoping
Is
you
that
were
a
going to say
criteria?
something profound about something he did this year.
Well, he also beat Shane Van Ness,
Okay.
so that's pretty good too.
That is good.
But I know the coaches they'll get a sheet and they'll look at previous year's finishes at NCAAs and then also previous year finish at the Big Ten tournament. And so that would lead me to believe that's something that they should consider when seeding this tournament.
How do you know they look at that?
It's just something that something that I know. Yeah.
Acquired knowledge over the years.
Yeah.
Got it. Okay, got it.
I do like how we're bringing attention to a ranker's delight because those happen more often than people realize. You got Parker over Ridge, Ridge over Shane, Shane over Marco.
So yeah, that's how I chose to sort it out. I think if it doesn't go like this, I think Shane will be the 1, Parko the 2, and Levitt the 3. But
yeah, it really being the 2 doesn't really matter. You just want to be the 1 in this situation.
Yeah,
you don't have to wrestle one of the other ones to make the final
for sure. Yeah. So then 133 is also one that we should look at.
Let's look at it.
It's really goofy because the top 3 pretty chalk. Drake Ayala, Lucas Bird, Braxton Brown kind of falls in line with head-to-heads. But then it gets wonky.
Oh yeah,
Braden Davis.
Here's some bad boys here.
Dylan Shaver, Jacob Van D, Zan, Rini, and then look at all the way down. Keep scrolling. Buzakis and Tyler Wells. Look at their wins and losses. Tyler Wells has only beaten Wharton this year from the Big Ten field.
I don't even know who that is.
That is messed up.
What a 10 in. I mean, when they're...
Sometimes the jokes write themselves, Tyler.
So
I'm sorry.
Buzakis, I mean, you look at his head-to-head wins and look at his losses. Lost to Bird, Shaver, Rini, Davis.
When your national ranking can be 1 lower than your Big Ten seed, that's a crazy conference, and that's some wild stuff happening within the conference.
Yeah. So
it kind of feels like Wells is maybe a little high nationally with a loss to
Davis.
Oh, Davis.
That's a typo.
That's a typo. Okay.
Yeah.
Or well, I see a name I don't know. I'm like, that can't be good.
Yeah.
We got to get Braden to change his last name.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that you're not wrong there.
Although it might be Davino. It could be either.
Oh, it's probably Davino.
And a Davino loss is not going to hurt you too much nationally because Davino could be like a top 10 guy if he had his red shirt.
Certainly could.
So yeah, it's goofy. I mean, I wrote in there like I think if the coaches do choose to like go outside of conferences and they look at the whole landscape, maybe they'll bring Buzakis up. But with that Rini loss, it's kind of hard to do that,
Yeah, because your data shrinks. So nationally, you're looking at way more stuff, and you're even pulling in some stuff from last year, especially at the beginning of the year. And then when you just focus on the conference, especially the Big Ten, where you don't have like a round robin ACC, everyone's going to see everybody, or else they're injured or whatever. You can extrapolate, the rankings, the seeds a little better. Yeah. For Big Ten, some guy may not see everybody, especially more guys sitting and stuff. And
scroll back up, Tyler.
Yeah. Just wait, hold on.
That middle kind of
the middle tier, because Braden Davis, he lost to Van D, but he beat Shaver, and then Zan beat Van D. So it's a jumbled mess.
Yeah,
that's something. Whatever is beyond rank.
Hey, how do you pronounce Zan's last name?
I just try not to pronounce it.
I just try to call him Zan.
Yeah, just call him Zan.
You get.
Okay.
You get about it, in my opinion.
Yeah.
They need to have one of those things on the website where you click on it and it's him saying it.
Yeah.
So maybe they do, but
that's something beyond a ranker's delight. That's a next level. The ranker's jambalaya.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, the good thing is he has a unique enough first name. You know?
That's like a ranker's Isaiah Salazar's endless salad bar.
Ooh, I like that.
Yeah.
Why not?
Christian's so mad you brought that up right now.
Furious.
Tyler, what was your seed at the Big Ten tournament?
I think like 12.
Wow.
And what did you place?
12.
8th.
Yeah, baby.
Top 8.
Talk about overperforming.
That's a Big Ten All-American finish.
Mm-hmm.
That's right.
You were an All-American of the Big Ten.
That's right.
That's what they call them.
Big Ten.
You could tell people. You could tell everyone other than wrestling people you were a Big Ten All-American. They'd be like, "Oh, dude, legit."
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That's a Pan Am world champ.
You were a national placer at some tournament that just calls itself nationals.
I remember because
you're a national champion, actually.
I went to every time I go back home, I try to do a high school practice, and my coach was like explaining to everyone like, "This is Tyler," and like kids from my hometown don't really follow D1 wrestling. Like they love like high school wrestling or whatever. He's like, he placed in the Big Ten. He's like, "What'd you place?" I was like, 8th, and I think a lot of the
all
kids like
laughing.
didn't even know that there was more than 10 schools in the Big Ten. So just I was like,
scrub.
you're not really doing a good job of hyping me up right now, Coach.
Well, but tell them what your seed was at NCAA. 33?
Out of 100?
Well, sort of. Actually, well, in that tournament, 33, but everyone, it's like 80.
Yeah.
Wow. Tyler, he really sucks, huh, guys? Just kidding.
Yeah.
Beast.
So yeah, I don't know. 33 is a mess. It could go several different ways. I'm curious to see that one. Let's see. 25. Let's look at 25.
I want to look at all of it. I wish there was a way to make it
I could do it
more fitty.
I could do it. I could fit it differently. I just wanted to show my work.
Only 4 per. Yeah, okay.
You know?
Well, that's good.
That's our site. You could pull up probably your spreadsheet.
Yeah. So Caleb Smith, Dean Peterson is kind of goofy. I could see Dean seated higher, but Caleb Smith has had a more like consistent year. Dean Peterson has a better win over Lilladal, but he also has the worst loss against Nicola Rivera. So I chose to put Caleb Smith.
2-3 is not going to make a big difference there. I think
big deal.
you err with Caleb.
Yeah.
Who's won? I missed it.
Matt.
Oh,
Ramos.
yeah, Ramos, duh.
Yeah, which
Yeah, he's clear.
he didn't wrestle Caleb Smith either. So
Oh, he didn't.
yeah, it's not good.
I just hope he's okay.
Yeah, I'm sure he's all right.
But he does have a double transitive away from a win over Smith, right? Because he beat Macron, who beat Lilladal, who beat Smith.
Yeah, they should bring that up.
Yeah.
I have a transitive win over Sajalayev, so
Yeah, he does.
Yeah, how many
It's
removed?
Not,
Just
it's
like
not
8 or
that
so?
many removed. Hold on.
I have that sheet somewhere.
Tyler's a beast. This is we're gonna prove it right now.
Oh, you want to do this right now?
Yeah,
I don't know. I don't remember what it was.
I can find it on my computer.
I think it's
Cochran.
Cochran, Kyle Cochran of Maryland, who he pinned,
And then it was reversed.
and it was taken off erroneously.
Yeah.
This is on. This is
Challenged the
documented.
pin?
And
We should do you have video of this?
Yeah, it's on our site.
We should show the people.
it was egregious. And Alex Clemson.
Are you
of
sure
Maryland,
you want to
you
get
should be-
distracted on this?
Well, just have it.
Okay, I'll pull it up. You guys.
We want to look at it after the show. At
But
very
the
least.
Cochran. So Cochran
win.
beat DJ, beat Starachi, right?
Beat Starachi, beat Nolf, beat Burrows, beat
Uh-huh.
where
Beat
we going?
Taylor, beat Jaden, beat Kyle, beat Sajalayev.
There you go.
There you go.
That's pretty easy.
Figured it out. So
There you go.
Yeah. It doesn't take
King, you
long.
Best not miss.
That's pretty
Wow. How would you do against Sajalayev right now?
Moving on.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I don't know. Do we want to talk about more weights?
it's just, man.
Kind of scroll through them.
Well, I kind of,
I want to talk more about my college career, actually.
let's do it. Let's go back.
No, what weight you want to talk about?
I don't know. Just go to one we haven't looked at
Okay. I'll go to one you haven't looked at yet. 141.
yet. Okay.
Nah, this one's not important.
Bo Mendez, Hardy, Von Bar, all make
This one's
sense.
pretty. Yeah. This one's pretty
Sergio.
chalk.
It's just cool to see. Okay, that was good.
Cannon at the 10 is wild.
We got
We
149.
did. All right, 57. What'd you do with Ja'Cory? 4?
He beat
Yeah,
Askey.
terps,
Beat
terps,
Askey.
terps, 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 terps.
Brandon Cannon is a wild card here because he has 2 Big Ten matches, and his best win is Garvik. But this is a guy who beat Cody Chittum.
He is tough.
He's really good.
Didn't he come back from like a crazy illness thing?
Cancer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, Brandon Cannon versus Ethan Miller, like that's going to be a good match.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, he'll have to beat Saldate first.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, wow, this weight is really deep.
Yep.
And Ja'Cory not going to earn an allocation probably. They got 8 at Big Ten.
Oh, yeah, we got
Or-
allocations.
Huh?
We got allocations are out, yeah.
Hold on,
Yeah, Ja'Cory's got like 6 matches this year, so there's no way he's going to earn an allocation for Big Ten's at 157.
Hold on, I got it right here. Big Ten 157 did get 8.
Okay.
So there's going to be some good dudes.
Yeah, scroll down to
Scroll down a
the-
little more.
The bottom 5. I mean, yeah, up, yeah. Harrer's really tough. Krazer's really good. I mean, even a guy like Meckler's, yeah, he's tough. So yeah, there's gonna be a couple guys
On the outside.
needing a wild card for sure.
All right, 165.
For sure.
Who would be the number one at 165?
Mitchell.
Mitchell. Ooh, I don't know about that.
I don't know. They're going to debate that one. Caliendo Minto, the 3 seed. If you'd told me Chris Minto is going to be the 3 seed at Big Ten
He's
this year,
good.
Yeah, I saw that coming.
get out of here. Yeah, Spade's been saying
They
it.
saw the Minto Pinto combination.
I was like, that's it. Crown him.
He said it's just too good. Sparks, he's got the spark. Okay, this is good. Keep Batty at the 9. Wow.
Yeah, Patty's way down
I'd
there.
skip 65. Oh no, we were just on
That was what that was.
74.
It says
Levi,
it says
Carson
8.
Hartzler, Lenny Pinto, Patrick Kennedy.
Yeah. This one's a little goofy. Some of these guys have traded wins and losses, like 5 through 9 range, but nothing too crazy.
Okay. Keep it moving. 84.
This has 8 also.
So Carter, McAnally, Allred, Gabe. So Jackson Smith. Whoa.
Yeah, Ed Ruth, Big Ten champ last year, is the 6th seed.
Terps.
Yeah. Yeah, top 5, 6 should work out pretty good. Nothing too wild at 84.
Okay, 97.
Same thing with 97.
10 allocations.
Everyone going.
Mm-hmm.
Barr 2nd, Cardenas 3rd, Salazar 4th, Bronigal 5.
Nothing like a tournament that now
Yeah,
has
this
to
is pretty
wrestle
deep.
out to true 11th.
We love it.
Yeah, Shoemate's at the 9, so his best win is Bronigal, but then he also has losses to Gabe Solers, and I mean,
Everyone else is good that he
Yeah.
lost to.
yeah, and he went to overtime with Salazar, so interesting 9 seed for sure. But
Yeah.
And 10 and 11 are nationally ranked.
Feels like he'll get in.
mm-hmm.
Okay, heavyweight, last one.
Heavyweights, it's a little weird after the top 3 because you have Feldman, who lost to Keeter, but Feldman beat Slav and Luffman. Slav beat Luffman, but lost to Bullock.
Yeah, they had a Breakers Delight all in like one weekend.
Mm-hmm.
Those 3 guys.
Keeter
So, yeah.
7.
Neville's number 12 nationally, potentially 9 seed at Big Tens.
Yeah. I could see him being 8, but I would be surprised if he was any higher than that. I gave Bullock the nod over Neville's just because Bullock has the Slav win.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's it.
Well, there'll be 10 going, so it shouldn't be, nobody should be left out.
Yeah. So, yeah, if you want to know what the seeds look like, go on the website. They're going to be super close to that. I did the same thing last year and was only off, at a couple weights with some of those Rankers Delights.
You missed big on the Teskey one.
Oh, yeah. That's right.
He was the 14.
Everyone forgot about him.
Yeah. Hey, let's do questions. And then
Okay.
we can get up out of here.
First question is from Dion. He said, what was it about Higuchi and Ono's defense that Spencer couldn't necessarily get to a lot of opportunities to attack?
They have something that is pretty special about them physically, that they're not overwhelmed by Spencer's strength.
I think speed is a huge part of it.
Couple that with really good positioning, really disciplined in their stance. They just don't break. They don't give you. There's not many cracks in their armor.
I think one basic thing is like, obviously I am not like a technical genius, but I will say something that is very simple that I think a lot of people maybe don't think about a lot. If you're an insane athlete, like, wrestling becomes a lot easier. Like,
Yeah.
And I think that's what Ono and Higuchi are. They are just like next level athletes. Like, the things they can do with their strength, with their speed, and I think that is what matches
Yes.
like Spencer, who is also an insane level of an athlete. So that level of athleticism,
No question.
I think is a big part of it.
On that note, like you talked about, like just maintaining good position, not getting overwhelmed. Kiyuka was able to do that against Amuzad as well.
Yeah.
Like, you're seeing a lot of the Japanese guys able to do this against
to
guys that are
relax.
like physically imposing. Like Amuzad, remember how he ran through everyone at the Olympics?
We're like, I was like,
We were certain he was going
if
to
I
win.
could pick any Olympic final, I was like,
Yeah.
he is winning.
Yeah.
All the
He's gonna be
confidence
the Olympic
picks were on Amuzad. It was like, so every now and then somebody times 65 in the weight cut or whatever perfectly, and he just ripped through everyone. You're like, all right, that guy is head and shoulders above.
Romanov did that in 16. Yeah, that was crazy.
Insane. All right. Next question is from Magic. He said, what did you think of Zayn in his first foray into coaching? Do you think we see him heading up an NCAA program in the future? Potential Kale successor at PSU?
That's devil magic. Magic 666.
Yeah, this guy. This is the evil question. First of all, I mean, yeah, not a lot to judge on other than I got to watch him with Ono. He's doing a nice job there. He won. I think he'd worked a little more closely with Ono had worked pretty closely with Cody in the lead up. But I'm certain he has great potential as a coach. Good guy. He's a humble person. I think he has all the personality traits of a coach. So,
But he said he still wants to compete, right?
yeah, he did say, yeah. I should mention that I interviewed him, and he does want to compete. He was not. It doesn't sound like it will be this year. In fact, he's basically said it will not be this year, but potentially next year. Never at 65 again, which is good. I think that's good for him and his safety. And that concussion must have been so bad to have him withdraw. And he talked a little bit about that. So encourage you to listen to that.
Yeah.
As far as a potential Kale successor, I mean, I don't know how you even predict that. I mean,
we saw what he did with Ono, right?
Yeah. That's actually what,
he's already did with the world champion that touched everyone on the planet.
that's what the Hassim Muhammad asked. How much credit do we give NLWC for Ono's win last night?
I think that's
.000.
Well, I think the thing that is interesting in all this is like Ono was going to go and train at Penn State before we had anything lined up.
Yeah.
With Spencer
Before we
Lee,
knew he
right?
existed.
That was kind of like why we did it, right? Because we knew
Yeah.
he was already going to be here. Or like made it easier at least.
Yeah,
I'm sure.
absolutely, of course.
But I think just that point in and of itself that before he won Worlds, he had already contacted Penn State. There was already talks where he wanted to go train there. Like, I think that is really, really cool for a guy like Ona to want to do that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Cool.
Yeah.
Next question from Christopher Lee. He said, can you and the boys give us your dream matchups for the next FloWrestling card? Could be high school, college, international, or women's.
Brooks Sadulayev, Gable Zare.
That is probably the one
Yeah.
I want the most.
Yeah.
Gable versus.
I want to see that. I want to.
Would you rather see Gable Zare or Gable Geno again?
Zare?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't you think it'd be way more fun to watch him wrestle Geno again?
He's
He
just
would
gonna stun
kill
on him. He's just
I would
gonna
like him to
destroy
watch.
him.
Yeah, I would.
And I don't want to see him
guys.
destroy Geno. I like him, and I don't have anything against Zare. One of
want Gable
my favorite wrestlers, but
I say we start the night with Gable Masumi.
I was gonna say Masumi is another
Gable
one.
kills Masumi, and then we end it with Gable Zare.
yes.
Okay.
And then, whatever in between is good too.
I mean, I want to see Spencer. I want to see Spencer Higuchi. I want to see Spencer Vito. A lot of guys I'd like to see Spencer wrestle, frankly.
Burroughs Sidikoff.
Yeah.
I think Burroughs is done.
I want to see it.
I think he's retired.
Still want
Don't take that from me.
I'm taking it right now.
All right. Next question is, what were your thoughts on Ono having NLWC coaches in his corner? Wouldn't we expect his national team coaches to corner him?
No, they're not. They weren't in the country.
They weren't there.
They live in Japan.
Next question, Chase White. He said, is the Ferrari family the wrestling comparison to the Ball family in the NBA?
Only if they come out with a shoe. They had the Big Baller brand shoes. They need a merch line.
Didn't Ferrari have a shoe? Very briefly.
Yeah.
But it was not, to my knowledge, Old Man Ferrari Lift's shoe.
Okay.
Whereas in the Big Baller brand was
That was his.
that was Mr. Ball's shoe brand.
One of the Ball kids just came out with a really good song.
Really?
That's what I heard.
It's pretty good.
Nice.
So, one of them has to start rapping.
Anthony.
Who do you think it would be?
That'd be AJ.
Oh, you think it'd be AJ?
I mean, he's dipped his toe in the TP and Esco game.
I believe.
true.
I believe in the Ball family. The middle brother is the rapper.
So it's Anthony.
It's got to be Anthony.
All right, Anthony,
Your move.
get those bars.
All right. Next question is from Brendan Kelly. He said, what do you think about the officiating overall? I liked it, but I also think matches are called differently in America for some reason.
Well, you didn't see a brick all night for the main card. Not a single challenge. That's generally a good sign.
Yeah, and those refs are international refs. Sammy Julian ref at the Olympics.
Yeah, but Brendan is absolutely right that matches internationally can be very different from America. Like we'll have our own like, notes and like little what's the word I'm looking for here? Kind of rules, assessments, and evaluation interpretations.
Yeah.
Thank you, Spay. And they're kind of like here in America, and you go overseas, and it is a little different. Not always on the same page, which is highly frustrating, and I understand that. But I thought there were no calls that really stand out to me.
Yeah, I thought it was
good.
Yeah, the no challenge is a huge thing, underrated because it also like that move that was a great card in that it just went at a nice pace and it wasn't slowed down by that or blood time or whatever. So kudos to the refs.
Michael DeMoss said, what did we really learn from Ono versus Lee? All step outs from Ono, but Lee wasn't close to scoring a takedown. Would you still consider picking Spencer at Worlds if Ono goes 57?
Absolutely. That's 5 pounds lighter than they weighed in at. That's a factor. And Spencer's going to be good there. We know that's a good weight for him. I think it'll be tougher for Ono. What did we learn? In a way, we learned a lot in that they both really can't score on each other meaningfully at this point in time. So that's a learning. And I think we learned that there's a lot of adjustments probably to be made on both sides. And I would guess that the next match would not look like the one we just saw, would be my.
Yeah.
So those are my observations.
Yeah, on that note, FRL question asker said, Ono had superior physicality compared to Spencer. Any reason to think this could change down at 57?
Well, I don't know if I think he utilized his physicality in a way that gave him an advantage. Mm-hmm. I don't think that this positional game that he played can't be, defended by Spencer. I don't see him getting driven out of bounds. Next time, I don't think that happened one time where he was just Ono got a full head of steam, underhook, run, and drove him straight back, and it didn't happen again. So I don't know. I mean, I'm not saying you didn't see a stronger guy out there. I'm not disagreeing necessarily, but and I do think it would change at 57 slightly.
Yeah, the difference in weight, that's like 5% of their body weight of a 57-pounder to go up and then back down. So to think it would be no change it's got to be something. Otherwise, it'd all be down there already.
Sure.
All right. Next question from JS at Bar Half. He said, what's more impressive, Bo's wrestling or color commentary?
He's just an impressive kid, honestly, when you think about it. His maturity and how he carries himself is really impressive. And he's amazing wrestler. He could do, I think, whatever he wants. It was fun having him on the call. 3 is a little tougher, and we were trying to give him a lot of opportunities, and he was ready. It is, and so it was his first. He got taken. It was like, wow, because the whole time you're doing this call, you got the producers in your ear saying, all right, we're cutting it to. You hear all this stuff, and it's like, it can be a little. It bothers me sometimes. It's just part of it. But he just, he just rolled with it, and so I think that speaks to, who he is. So he's just impressive all around.
Mm-hmm. 2 for takedown said McAnally versus Starachi is not talked about enough. I think this one is tight.
I don't disagree that
That's
the
Shane
numbers.
Sparks saying tight.
The numbers will be close. I just don't know if he can score.
Yeah.
On Starachi, but yeah, I think it is feels like the Big Ten final to me, and it feels like Keckeisen. I want to see Keckeisen, and I hope that we get to see Starachi McAnally Keckeisen. I want to see all those guys wrestle each other.
Yeah, I could see this match being something like a 4-1 match, 5-2 maybe. But I could also see Starachi getting an early takedown, right out, and then maybe another one late, and it not being, maybe not a major, but like 6-0, 7-0.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Next question from Dylan Dangerfield. He said, should dual team scoring be different now that we've seen the success of 3-point takedowns and 4-point near fall?
Absolutely not. I saw some audacious takes about changing majors and techs because the point. No, that is part of what makes the 3-point and 4-point better.
Yeah.
Is that you've made majors and tech falls so much more attainable that they're incentivized to score more.
If you make them harder to get to, then it's just like, well, why did we even change it in the first place?
Yeah.
There's no point just to see a bigger number.
Yeah.
Yeah, at the end of every match, just multiply it by 100, and now we've
100.
we've increased. Yeah, without blowing up.
Without blowing up.
And you increase score. Yeah, it's always okay. Like once you gain the lead, now let's get the extra team point, or once you get the major team point, let's go for the tech. So it's good.
Yeah, very good.
Hassan Muhammad said, when discussing Messenbrink's Hodge candidacy, CP cited quality of competition as the piece holding him back. Based on what Caliendo is doing to the field, could you consider Mitchell's win over Caliendo to be as quality of a win as, say, Gable over Wyatt?
I don't. Maybe that's not fair. But also, Gable over Wyatt, sure, but Greg is in there too, right? And so if Gable beats both those guys, I just view them at a higher level, even though Caliendo is doing what he's doing. I think heavyweight is not just tougher at the top, but it also has it's got really good depth too. You got guys like Trumbull, who's in the Olympic trials finals. You got Colton Schultz, an NCAA finalist. Feldman, guys that had real freestyle success. So I just 65 is not the same. That's not Mitchell's fault. It's probably part of his, not a lot of people want to wrestle 165 if Mitchell's the guy you got to go through. But yeah, I just think that weight is a lot tougher, and that's going to matter in the decision.
All right, next question. In a duel between Penn State, I don't know why I almost started saying Pennsylvania State.
Pennsylvania State University.
Penn State and the best of the rest, number 1 or 2 ranked guy, where Penn State has the number 1. Does
Pennsylvania State.
Does PSU win that duel more often than not?
What?
He's basically saying Penn State
he
versus
basically wants to know
team.
Penn State versus All-Star team. Who wins?
I don't know. Let's do the next question.
Okay, next question.
I'm so tired.
I know, dude, me
that was a little thinky. I'm like, what?
Strength and Scrapping wants to know, will we see Keck Eisen at trials this year? Can he challenge Zahid for the spot?
I'm not going that far, but I hope we see him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I hope we see him. I think he will. Now that last NCAAs, so hopefully we'll see him. But with Zahid, I've got to see it before I'm putting really anyone. I wouldn't put Carter in that class that he could beat Zahid. Maybe he can. Same for Parker.
He's a world medalist.
True.
Next question, also from Strength and Scrapping. He said, JD, Tyler, Sion, CP, Group of 4 live. Who pukes first?
Okay, I like that.
I think CP.
Why would I puke?
I don't know. You get tired.
Are you a exercise puker?
I have been, yeah, but
I know David is.
He's big puke guy.
Who gets
Big
the
puke guy.
Why would it not be Sion?
CP, would you puke first, or would you get the mystery injury, but you suddenly feel way better for post-practice?
I wasn't like
Every
that.
team has to
No,
Sion's just big though, so that's kind of what he
I
has.
think Sion would gas you out.
From bottom.
what are you talking about?
I've wrestled with Sion, dude. He's big. He's strong.
Oh yeah, this is wrestling. This is just wrestling.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm gonna die. I can't go with any of these people.
So do you puke, or do you have a mystery injury, but you suddenly feel better for?
I'm not doing any of those things. I'll just listen.
It's a good spike
both of
ball.
I'm not
guys
good
are
at
you.
wrestling. I know how to take a beating though. Okay, that was one of my main skills. So
CP's got a great bridge.
actually not. I have no flexibility in my neck. It's really hard. You got to get the wedge going right here. That one keeps that's a key one.
All right,
I got an instructional on Athletes Ocean coming. The wedge. Yeah, me and Nolfer in talks. He's got to hit my number though.
Maybe you could go coach at Great Bridge High School in Virginia.
Coach Martin, shout out.
I don't fully understand this question, but maybe you guys
Maybe
will.
don't ask it.
Benjamin D. Hell, he said, great event last night in Coralville. Crowd showed up. Lots of kids running around. Best dressed commentary crew.
thank you.
Compare that to the literal empty venues seeing our wrestlers compete around the world. If sports are entertainment business, where's the sweet spot?
Oh, like the rankings tournaments. He's probably.
Yeah, well, most international tournaments don't have good attendance.
It's very hard to put on international events from the business perspective when you want the host city to pay for all the costs that a big tournament has, because then you have cities bidding on it for other reasons because the hotels will be filled up and they have an arrangement that way and tax dollars or whatever, versus put it where fans will show up. You have to go to places like Dagestan and Iowa and whatever, and there's different difficulties in doing it in those places.
Yeah, there's so many things that they have to. I mean, I guess it's a UWW question, but there's a lot of USA events that are like, sparsely attended as well, and just other college events that are.
I think like UWW's, their goal isn't to put on an entertaining event. Like they've gotten better. They've gotten better at that, and they've done it in a good way. Like they have made a ton of progress, but their goal is to put on an event that ultimately leads to the World Championships and builds towards establishing like who is the best wrestler in the world. Now, like the question becomes like how can those things run parallel? Like how can they also put on a really entertaining event that attracts crowds and things like that?
The most difficult thing in what UWW, they have to balance so much stuff, right? And so do many organizations, but they've got to have it at a place where all the countries can get to.
Legally,
that automatically limits so much of where they can go. And then you narrow it down to a few number of countries, and you see the ones where they have to go time and time again. And then is there a big wrestling crowd in Croatia, in Albania? No, there's not, but it's a place they can all get to. So there's a concession that has to be made one way or the other. You can't just why don't you just have it in Tehran? Well, okay, no one can go there.
That'd be sick.
Why don't you have it in Moscow? Well, we can, why not America? We can't get them in. Right? There's complications galore, and they're having to juggle all this stuff. And I'm with you. I would love it if they're big crowds and everything, but it's a big challenge. So I'm not.
Guys see any of the PWL that Snyder competed in?
No, I have to go back and
that
watch
looked pretty cool. They had like a big walkout thing for
in Kazakhstan.
and
the hard part is like everybody knows how to put on. Like there's a playbook, a production book or whatever that can say, okay, like the PWL thing was cool, the lights, the trusses, the stage. You can do that, you can put it everywhere, but then it's how do you make it sustainable? And how do you market it properly? How do you spend the resources to make it a big deal? And that's the $1 million question. That's the toughest thing because there's plenty of wrestling events that don't live up to the hype that we would want them to. And how do you how do you put butts in the seats? How do you make it a big deal?
Yeah. All right. Good show, Cowboys.
You're done?
I'm done.
Okay.
CP's tapping out.
I literally I have to go home. I got to get Caleb. I got to practice. I don't want to be late.
The last question.
Okay.
People. Well, I won't read the question because it's a little mean. But how did you feel about DC dropping F-bombs on Monday's show?
Experience is a great teacher, and I had been those early shows with Ben, Sion. So I was like, what am I gonna tell? And I did. It's my fault too, because he's like, can I cuss on there? I'm like, whatever you want.
Yeah.
I'm not. Who am I?
Heard F-bomb.
And it was. Man, honestly, swearing is something I try to do as little as I can, but it does have tremendous impact at times.
Has
driving home a point.
Has Ben reached out to you since he saw the DC episode?
No, I haven't.
Hey, why didn't you get on him?
If he was the regular, if he was a regular, I would. But it's like it's a guest. He's a guest.
Yeah. They were fun F-bombs too. I mean, there's a way to curse that's
Dude,
less
DC was
offending.
so awesome.
Oh my gosh,
he was so funny.
Dude just wakes up and is like, "All right, I'm awesome. Let me just go."
Yeah,
incredible. All right.
Well,
thanks so much for tuning in. We're gonna be back Monday, no doubt about it.
Also, wait, real quick. There's a lot of people leaving questions and comments everywhere saying great event, and we just want to say thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much for watching.
Great fans.
Most importantly,
means a lot.
Customer.
You guys are the best. Really appreciate all you guys. And yes, have seen a lot of really positive comments towards the event and anything we did, so we appreciate it.
Graphics are getting a lot of love, I think.
A lot of love.
Probably
a
the
lot
most
of talk on the
important part
graphics.
of the entire event.
Yeah.
Graphics.
All right, we'll see you guys Monday. Have a great week, and good luck to those wrestling at state tournaments or qualifiers or whatever. We'll be watching. Thank you guys. See ya.